Miami?
Yep.
Okay, last year we were there in Miami, and there was a guy with a bullhorn screaming religious.
It was I'm impressed with you all the time, but I was really very impressed because you did not miss a beat.
Well, Miami's full of a lot of different stuff, and you have to overcome Miami a little bit when you're broadcasting live in Miami.
That's true. There were like thousands of people, but it wasn't so much the people. Like they were literally, it was a bullhorn, like trying to save souls.
Yeah.
I was like,
and I'm like, hey,
we're saved. Let's go.
I'm entertaining America. You can save America. Let's just make this work.
Right.
So we are Andy Reid, coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, will join us in about 30 minutes from now. So it does feel like the Packers season's over and they're still making news. There was Aaron after the game. Then we see Aaron yesterday in the back of a pickup truck, funny video. And now a former teammate, TJ Lang, came out yesterday in a radio station and talked about Aaron Rodgers is hell-bent on revenge for Green Bay. Here it is.
I think he's going to be hell-bent on some revenge, man. I think he was quietly pissed when they took Jordan Love a year ago. I think he's going to make him pay, man. I think he's going to want some sort of new deal where they guarantee a couple more years for him security-wise being in Green Bay. I don't think he wants to go anywhere, but I think he's going to hold their feet to the fire and say, hey, you're going to keep me around. A, you're going to pay me. And B, you're going to bring in some players that I want to play with where we can take this next leap.
I'm not bothered by any of that. In review, A, Aaron Rodgers a little upset they had needs and drafted a quarterback. I get that. B, he wants him to finally go all in. Yeah, that'd be nice. And a C, he wants to get paid his actual value and potentially get more security. I'm okay with that. That doesn't sound like revenge. It sounds like impatience. It sounds like leverage. Here's the problem, is that Seattle and Tampa and the Saints and the 49ers and this weekend the Rams, all the teams he's battling to get through in the NFC have all been, over the last 4 to 5 to 6 years, hyper-aggressive. Big swings. Jamal Adams, Carlos Dunlap, Emmanuel Sanders, big swings. Matt Stafford, now a Ram. And the Packers went out and spent a little money on Zadarius Smith, a nice player. Like, I get it. The reason Aaron and Green Bay are always in the news, because this is why it's the most unique relationship in the NFL, and this is not all Aaron's fault. In fact, I back Aaron on this. The Packers and Aaron are driven by two different things. And it's not like that with Mahomes in Kansas City. It's not like that with Brady, Bucks or Patriots. It's not like that with any other quarterback in the league. But Green Bay and Aaron are driven by two different things. Green Bay is driven by fear, which is such a drag when you're a rock star. They're driven by fear. They don't want to be irrelevant. They don't have an owner. It's owned by the community. And when Vince Lombardi left, they went 25 years and they had 2 playoff appearances. I grew up and the Packers were irrelevant before Favre. Nobody talked about the Packers post-Lombardi to Favre. It was Cowboys. It was the Washington football team. If you looked around the NFC, it was Philadelphia. It was Chicago for a while in the 90s. They were irrelevant. And they're fear-based. And everything is that's why go look at last year's draft. It was all about fear. Let's get Jordan Love. You know he wasn't going to play for 3 years, but it was, we just don't want to not have a quarterback. We remember when we didn't. Nobody talks about us for 25 years. And then in the second round, they get a running back. Did they need a running back? No, they had 2 great running backs. It was to protect them when Aaron Jones now is a free agent. It was all about protecting, playing it safe, putting away your retirement, paying off your house. Aaron's not driven by that. Aaron's the California kid. He's aspirational. He is hedge fund. He is big swing. He is going for it. He's the rock star with these super conservative parents, and it wears him out. And I side with Aaron on this. Green Bay is the smallest city that when they There's 3 or 4 times they've been irrelevant. Bart Starr, Favre, Rodgers. When they didn't have quarterbacks, nobody cared about them. And that matters when you don't have an owner. And you are the smallest market, and you own the team. It's all fear-based nonsense, which wears me out. They're constantly building for that retirement. They put money in their pension. And Aaron's a rock star. He's throwing money all over. He's an angel investor taking big swings. And so 30 years, Green Bay has 2 Super Bowls. That's with Favre and Rodgers. So you can win them, but they should have 3 times that. And what's really troubling for Aaron is this wasn't really as noticeable when he entered the league. But because of so many young, aggressive general managers, John Schneider in Seattle is aggressive, and John Lynch in San Francisco, and Les Snead in Los Angeles, you get these young, Howie Roseman, Philadelphia, these young, super aggressive general managers making deals, and Green Bay's always sitting on their hands. So it gets jammed into Aaron's face. I'd be upset too. You're being compared to Russell Wilson and compared to Tom Brady and compared to great quarterbacks. But those guys have owners and teams with the same agenda, with the same aspirations. Green Bay's all about fear. It's all about putting it away, protecting yourself, never getting caught without a quarterback. It's wearing him out. I don't think any of that. Listen, since Aaron last got to a Super Bowl, half the NFC has gotten there. And he hasn't again. And in that time, he's inarguably, I mean, maybe Russell Wilson, but he's been the best NFC quarterback on average over that time. So when I hear TJ Lang talking about that stuff, that